Hello everyone, this is Andrew, and I wanted to share some pretty amazing behavior my new Bosemani Rainbowfish have been showing. 5 weeks ago I got 9 adolescent Bosemans from Aquatic Arts here in Indianapolis, and I ended up getting 8 beautiful blue and orange males and 1 very green female. Now, the boys have been doing the typical side-by-side sparring kind of behavior that I'd often seen in other people's videos, but lately they have begun to do a crazy group form of sparring sessions, which kind of reminds me of a rugby scrum. From what I can tell, it started when one of the larger males decided he was going to be the owner of the area around one of the driftwood logs. He would puff up his fins and patrol back and forth. It makes the white color on the top of their fins really show up well when they do this. Eventually, another male would show up and they would start their side-by-side displaying battle that rainbowfish like to do. But soon another would show up and try to do their own side-by-side display with the first two. And because you can't swim 10 inches in this tank before finding another male, more would show up to join in until it developed into a crazy kind of free-for-all scrum. As far as I can tell, no one seems to be getting any actual fins nipped, so it doesn't look like it's causing any physical damage. But they certainly are getting their exercise for the day. If you'll pardon the Instagram footage for a bit, I wanted to show the sequence of the males getting a nice little scrum going until Lady Green, the female of the tank, decided to join in the fun. This of course got the males all distracted and the scrum broke up as the males decided she was more interesting to swim around with. Now, obviously having 8 males to 1 female isn't a good ratio. Well, unless you want to see lots of this type of behavior, I guess. So to remedy the situation, I got 3 female Bosemans from my local fish store, The Reef. Unfortunately, one got chased down in the 40-gallon quarantine tank too much, and I found her dead a few days later. It looked like they were bite marks on her back, but I can't be sure. The alpha female chases the other remaining female around a bit, but not as bad. I put food in at each end of the tank, and they seem to mostly keep to their own areas for the first week. The alpha likes the sand section, while the other mostly stays in the lava rock and plant section. And wow, can you see a difference in their color? When they are in the sand area, they show a very washed out, sandy color. This is one reason why the females only sell for about $9, while the males sell for about $35. This drab color really worried me at first, since it looked like a stress response. But after they spend just a few minutes in the dark lava rock area, their green color really starts to perk up again. These rainbows really are chameleon fish. I decided to put a couple of Amano shrimp in with the female rainbows while they're in quarantine. This tank doesn't have a lid, so I'm keeping the water level a bit low. The Amanos seem perfectly at ease in the tank though, so I'm doubtful any will feel the need to try and escape. Since I have more Amano shrimp than I really need, I decided to put one in with my full-size Ranchus and the other 40-gallon as an experiment. Now, it might be hiding up in the Anubias somewhere, but I haven't been able to find it since the first day, so either the Ranchus ate the shrimp, or the shrimp decided there was too much predation in this tank and escaped. I'm not sure where to, though. So the plan is to have the females in quarantine for a month in this 40-gallon sand tank. Oh, so what happened to the 4 baby Ranchu goldfish that were in this tank, some of you might ask? I rehomed the 2 larger ones to my local Petco. Of the 20 or so baby Ranchus from this last batch of breeding, only 4 were good enough quality to keep. Breeding Ranchus is tough. The 2 smaller ones, Goldie and Dreamy, are now living in the 10-gallon tank. I think these are both absolutely adorable little Ranchus. Look at these cuties. So they will be living in here with a few ram's horn snails for at least a couple more weeks. They get fed twice a day, but they have proven to be pretty slow growers, which is fine with me. Okay, back to the scrum tank. One thing of note is after 8 weeks, the dwarf lily finally set up its first lily pads to the surface. You can't normally see it from above though because of the lid, but it still looks pretty cool from below, I suppose. The plants in here have all been doing very well. The jungle valves are now growing up to the surface and draping across the top of the water. The water sprites are getting tall enough that I have to start cutting them back. All the crypts are also doing great. The only plant-related issue is that the staghorn algae in here, yes, staghorn algae came back, really enjoys growing on the small dwarf grass plants. It's hard to just pull it off because they aren't rooted very deep, so you need to use 2 hands, which is a bit of a stretch in a 125-gallon tank. So for now I'm just leaving it. I've pulled the algae off the Java ferns a few times, but I'm not sure that's something I want to do long term. Other than that, I couldn't be happier with how this tank has turned out so far. Over the past 5 weeks, these Bosemans have been absolutely amazing to watch. It will be interesting to see how adding 2 females to this tank will affect their behavior. Will the era of the crazy scrums come to an end? Will they start to breed and cause me to begin my first adventure in raising baby rainbowfish? Well, we'll have to wait for the next update to find all that out, as well as some happy news about my red cherry shrimps. So, thanks everyone for watching. I am Andrew, and as always, happy fish keeping.